Back to the poem. Odin said, "Tell me this 11th. Where is the hall where men fight each other every day?" Riddleweaver said, "All the Einherjar in Odin's hall fight each other every day. They kill each other, but then ride back from battle and sit in the evening as friends."
So this, of course, is, they're talking about Valhalla, that Odin's hall where when Odin chooses, or he has second choice of all the slain, and they go to Valhalla, and there's a certain number of them to fight on, at Ragnarok. And I was thinking a lot about this, and first of all, it sounds like a pretty good life, where you get to fight and then die and then come back and party, and then wake up the next day and fight. It's pretty good. They're fighting upheaval and chaos in Ragnarok, and I look at them kind of as they're kind of heroes that we can look at. So when our societies are going through change and upheaval, and we're sort of trying to reorient ourselves in the world and look at the values that sort of put the society on firm ground. So, for example, like free speech or any of the sort of classical liberal ideas that built our society. I look at the Einherjar as the people that we can look at and use as examples of why these values are worth moving forward with. So for an example of like classical liberal societies, John Locke might be an Einherjar, where you can be like, well, actually, like, someone's saying, oh, we should maybe do things this way. And you can look and say, well, this is what John Locke said, and this is the results of what he said. So you're kind of using this person who's a dead fighter for his ideology as you're kind of resurrecting him to fight again for what he's against, chaos and upheaval and all that kind of stuff. So that's sort of what when I was thinking about the Einherjar, that was sort of what I was thinking for like societies and cultures and ideas, that they're the heroes that you can look back, the honored dead that you can look back to and say, you know what, they did a good job, so maybe they're worth looking at and emulating.
Wow, I really like that one. I really like that reading of it, actually. Yeah, I mean, from a literal perspective, Odin was sort of gathering enough fighters, warriors, whatever, to be able to survive Ragnarok. I mean, that's the nominal goal of him gathering the Einherjar, right? But I had never thought of it like that, where it's like a concept of, these are the dead, but they did something valuable and we can still learn from them. That's fantastic. Really ties into just the idea of resurrecting old ideas and applying them, essentially.
Exactly,
right?
Sort of that, resurrecting the father, going into the underworld to get the father so that you can rejuvenate the society.
I really like that. That idea is in the same vein. I hadn't thought about it that way, actually. Yeah, that's great. Very profound.
We've had a few of those today.
Oh, geez, yeah, I know, huh? For me, I read this one a little bit I think you said this is a pretty great life. And why I think it's great is because these people, these men, they get to just go and test out whatever idea comes into their head, and they get to do it over and over without consequence. I'm not sure that's exactly the meaning here, but it's some kind of idealized setting where it's like, yeah, you can go and test it out, and you can go, try and kill this guy this way or defend that way, honing their skills. And really that speaks to the idea that it's something central to even just men in particular. It's hard to really get around that it's something that it's just something that it's in our nature to go and test each other out and to climb that dial in its hierarchy and to push your friends. That's why I think it's they're friends afterwards, that camaraderie afterwards.
Absolutely. Just before we move on, I think the only thing that's missing from this life would be a little bit of Valkyrie loving.
Yeah.
But anyway,
can't argue with that. No, but yeah, it's this idea of testing and fighting for competence. And
for sure,
the example that comes to my mind on this was that traditional martial arts schools, essentially, you could have a debate as much as you want about which one is theoretically going to win. Is my karate going to beat your aikido, something like that?
For sure.
And then, the Gracie family from Brazil came to the United States, and they put together the Ultimate Fighting Championship, commonly known as UFC. And the idea was, let's just take all the martial arts together and see which one comes out on top. And the winner in that case turned out to be jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu ends up, which was that was the whole point. That was the Gracie family's thing. And the whole point of that now is that you basically can't be an MMA fighter without some kind of grappling art, which jiu-jitsu, for those of you who don't know, is very much just essentially a wrestling and grappling.
Definitely. And a high level of it if you're going to go far in MMA, you have to have a high level of it.
High level.
So, yeah.
And really the point that I tease out of that is that they were able to test it out. They were able to actually able to give it a try. And this is just the ultimate example of that. You can try it until you die, and then you get to come back the next day and do it again.
Yeah.
Good one, huh?